Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drink all my wine.
Alright guys, this is a revolutionary episode of PW Talk. I've decided to give myself some new enters music just because I can. And I know it was probably a paid naff to you, but to me that's revolutionary. That's not the only thing I've came up with this month. I've also decided to write my notes on MS Word, Microsoft Word, which is brain blowing to me. Usually I just write them on a piece of paper and look to my left and right, but I've figured out that writing it on Word is much better. I can just look at the screen and it's much easier. I'm looking straight ahead right at you. It's just professionality at its finest, in my opinion. But what's not professional is the fact that this is a month late yet again. I'm really sorry about that. It's a bit of a bad habit, but I promise this is the last time the show will be late. I'm sure you'll all understand why it's late, because it's been one fucking mental weekend for Sunderland Football Club. Martin O'Neill's left, he's been sacked. He's now on the door queue with Steve Keane, and replacing him is an absolute nutter in Di Canio. So I've got plenty to say about that. This show is going to be very football heavy. It's not going to be so much off topic stuff. I expect it to be a bit longer than the normal shows are, but like I said, it's going to be very football heavy, with obviously the Sunderland stuff that's happened dominating the show. I think that's about it for the intro, so I'll just get cracking on. So obviously everyone wants to hear my thoughts on what's happened with O'Neill and the subsequent replacement with Di Canio. It all came out of the blue. I mean, obviously in the modern game, a manager losing, going with 9 games without a win, it doesn't come as much of a shock that he's going to get replaced. But at this stage of the season, and the fact that we only lost to Man United of all teams, Man United are going to win a league this year, it was just the timing was very off. If it happened a couple of weeks ago after Norwich, fair enough. But 7 games left and Di Canio's came in. That's one weird replacement, and I was definitely none too happy about it at the time. I'm still not sure how I feel right now, to be honest. I mean, there's all the stuff with his political beliefs, but I think that's getting blown up out of proportion by the media. Reading what Di Canio's had to say for himself, and just looking into his comments and some of the stuff that was in his autobiography that was written with Gabriele Marcotti. Looking into that, I think things were taken out of context for his comments, what he said years ago. But it's not the political beliefs that worry me as much as it worries what appears to be a section of Sunderland fans, if you believe the other outlets like Sky Sports News and the Sun and stuff, what they've been saying. It's more the fact that Di Canio hasn't managed any higher than the 3rd tier of English football. He's got a bit of a questionable character. We all know he can get volatile at times. So I'm just worried about how he's going to adjust life in the Premier League, and how he's going to cope with getting the team G'd up for the last 7 games of the season, because these last 7 games are crucial. The team will always have my support, and I'll be there. I'm not going to boycott the team just because of a manager being appointed who I don't necessarily really agree with. What I do say is the fans have got to get behind the team, because we are in a bit of a mess at the minute. We've got to keep supporting the team, got to keep supporting the players, and hopefully Di Canio gets the best out of them players. We've got some big matches coming up. First of all, Chelsea at the weekend away, and following that the derby at Newcastle, which is huge. And then after that, Di Canio's first home game is against Everton. We haven't won Everton in the league since 1996, I believe, so it's a monumental task that he has on his hands. I wish him the best of luck. The football we've been playing has been absolutely abysmal. We didn't get a shot on target until the 90th minute against Man United. We couldn't break down 10-man Norwich. We blew a 1-0 lead away at the bottom of the table QPR. So things were quite depressing under O'Neill. I can't say enough how depressed I am that it didn't work out under the guy. He's such a good guy. This was his dream job. He was our dream manager, and it's just such a shame that everything just fucked up in the end, I suppose. You could tell just looking at his body language, he was very depressed, almost resigned to failure, which isn't something you'd associate with Martin O'Neill. I read that he didn't even turn up to take training until Thursday of this week, which just isn't good enough. So, you know, I can't blame Short for being ruthless. He's spent so much money at the club. He's spent easy at least 100 million in his time here, and for the money he spent, we should be really in the place where Everton is right now, battling for top 4, considering the money we've spent. But once again we're fighting to save ourselves, which is so disappointing, and sometimes it makes us think, are we cursed, are we jinxed as a club? But yeah, that's all I've got to say about the matter. 7 games left. I'll be there this season, I'll be there next season, and so on and so on. And even if I don't agree with Short's decision, I'm not going to leave my team when they're in a position where they need all the support they can get. And that's all I've got to say about that matter for now. Moving on, I'll start answering your guys' questions. It's staying with Sunderland, and I've got a question from Froggy asking, how will Sunderland adapt to the absence of Stephen Fletcher? Well, obviously Fletcher's a huge miss. He's been absolutely instrumental for us this season. Without his goals, we would be down already. He's such a very talented player, and we looked lost without him. Well, at least we did at the weekend. Danny Graham is not the player Fletcher is, in my opinion. He's shown no signs of being a good buy so far, and while I won't go as far as slating a lad like a lot of people who sit near me at the match have, you know, I've got nothing against him for being a Geordie or whatnot. It's just been a very lacklustre buy, and we really need him to start showing the form like he showed at Swansea if we're going to stay up. What I will say about Fletcher's injury, it does mean that we're going to have to play 4-5-1. 4-4-2 just wasn't working. 4-4-2 seeing us leaking goals, but at the same time 4-5-1 we just don't offer any threat. We're so indecisive with the ball. We play really deep, or at least did under O'Neill. Hopefully that changes under Di Canio. But it's going to be a real struggle with Fletcher. Obviously I'd be lying if I said everything was going to be alright without him, but I don't know how we're going to adapt, because Sessegnon hasn't been his best. He's so frustrating, and Graham doesn't look like he can hit a cow's ass with a banjo at the minute. So I'm just really unsure where the goals are going to come from, and we need to score to get wins, and wins are needed to stay up. So yeah, it's very worrying, and I'm not really sure how things are going to go as far as that's concerned. Alright, Jake, will Sunderland survive this season or not? Well, it's in our hands. We're 16th at the minute, and it depends. I really don't know how the players are going to react to Di Canio's arrival. I don't know whether he's going to give them the kick up the arse that they've needed for so long, or things are just going to continue in the same vein as they were under O'Neill. The football needs a change. The training needs to be seriously more heavier, and my heart says we'll stay up, but my head says we'll go down. I don't think QPR and Reading will quite catch us, but looking at Wigan and Aston Villa and Southampton, Newcastle, who are all around us, they've all got goal scorers, whether it's Benteke, whether it's Cornier, whether it's Cisse, or whether it's Lambert. They're all scoring goals. We've lost our goal scorer Fletcher, so obviously we are at a loss for that. So if I was a betting man, which I am, and unfortunately I didn't bet on it at the right time, I'd say Sunderland would be going down this season. I just can't say where the next win's coming from, to be honest with you. It's all very depressing, but moving on from that, moving away from the Sunderland topics, we have got another question from Froggy asking me for England's strongest 11. I've wrote this down, and this is actually quite depressing as well. Our centre backs are not doesn't make for too good reading in my opinion. I've obviously went with Hart and goal. Right back I went with Kyle Walker. Left back was a bit of a tough choice between Baines and Cole. I'd stick it out with Cole for the time being, but by the time the World Cup comes around, I very much could be pro Baines rather than Cole, because Cole has had probably his poorest season yet. I'm not sure whether that's got anything to do with Rafa Benitez or he's just starting to come to an age where he's dipping in form. Two centre backs I went Gary Cahill and Julian Lescott. Both play for big clubs, both are decent and both are better than anything else we have to offer. I didn't go for Rio Ferdinandez. I don't think he'll ever be back in the England side. And talking of Ferdinand, I may as well segue into the question that Jake's asked. Is there and should there be a way back for Ferdinand in the England setup? If you asked me this 2 weeks ago, I'd have said yes, but the way Ferdinand reacted when he got picked was very disappointing. I thought he was much better than that. Obviously he couldn't let bygones be bygones, and while Hodgson wasn't professional in the slightest, I don't think, Ferdinand hasn't shown the same behaviour as I had expected from him. So no, I don't think there should be a way back in, especially not under Hodgson. He's 34 now, isn't he? Yeah, so he's getting on. I think we've just got to go over the future. We're going to have to start developing better centre halves as well. Stephen Cook at Spurs looks a decent player, but still, we had to call up Stephen Taylor for the last fucking international, and I don't think he's England class by any standards. And that's not me being biased. I just don't think he's worthy of the England side. Moving on to midfield, I'd have three central midfielders in front of that defence. I'd obviously have Wilshere, if he's fit. I'd have Carrick, he's been in form a lot this season. And I'd have Gerrard in there. I think Gerrard's still putting in quality performances, and while he is getting on in age, I think he can still do a job in that midfield. I'd have three forwards, but when defending it, we'll turn it into like the 4-5-1. I'd have Rooney on one side, Walcott on the other. Them speak for themselves, and I'd have Welbeck up front. I think he's a quality player, as he's shown with some performances for Man United, such as the ones against Madrid. And while he's not getting much game time at United, I definitely think he's one of England's best prospects. And I've said this since he's on loan at Sunderland. I think he's one of our best prospects. So yeah, I'd start with him in the centre. I think he's definitely the best option. Alright, from England to Scotland. How was the trip up to Scotland a couple of weeks ago, as well as the game itself? That's another question from Froggy. First of all, I've got to apologise because I've got a very sore throat. Getting one hell of a cold, and the reason for that's partly to do with Scotland. It was bloody freezing up there. It was snowing, and it was very bitter, as wrestling MVP will also tell you. The game was very enjoyable. Scotland were poor. I thought Wales dominated most of the match, certainly until half time, and then Scotland took the lead. For the first 15 or 20 minutes or so of the second half, Scotland looked comfortable. Thought they looked very comfortable, but obviously they got the sending off. Wales came back into things. It was a very good performance by Wales, especially Aaron Ramsey. Thought he played well until his silly sending off. Johnny Williams, who came on from Crystal Palace, looks very, very promising, as I've said a couple of times down in the forum. It was an enjoyable game. It was a shame Bale wasn't properly fit, but still it was good to see Wales win. It was fun celebrating the goals, and it was a hell of a weekend. It was a good night out in Scotland on the piss. Very good laugh, and it was also good spending our hangover watching Partick Thistle play at Firhill. Well worth the £12 entry fee. Nice little atmosphere. There's only a couple of thousand there, but it was very, very good support from the Partick Thistle fans. Lots of songs and chants started off. Plus we got loads of goals to watch. It was a 6-1 win for Partick Thistle, and they all look like getting promoted to the SPL, so best of luck for them. It's a hell of a weekend. I love watching any football. I've watched a lot as a neutral this season. I've been to Crewe games, Cardiff games, now Wales games. I enjoy it as a neutral. I'll go anywhere to watch football. Just a great sport, my absolute favourite, and doesn't matter who's playing, I'll watch it. Who will be in the FA Cup final? Who do I want to win? It's another question from Froggy. I think it'll be Wigan Man City. I want Wigan to win because I like Martinez a lot, and I like a lot of Wigan's players. They play some nice football. But I can't say them beating Man City in the FA Cup final. I think Man City will be pissed off that they had such a disappointing season, and they'll thump Wigan in the final and at least win one trophy. Whether that saves Mancini's job will have to be seen, but I can definitely see Man City lifting that this season. Alright, final question, RE Football from Froggy. 2 players I'd like to see in the Premier League next season from abroad. I'd have a bit of a think of this, but I think there would be a couple of players from Dortmund. I'd like to see Lewandowski in there, and also Götze. Just watching them in the Champions League, a lot of very good players. I wouldn't mind seeing Arjen Robben come back to the Premier League if Guardiola doesn't want to keep him at Barcelona. Obviously it'd be good to see him in the league again. That's it really. A lot of the German players who's playing in that league are all good to watch, good talents, and I think any of them would fit into our league anyway. Next question is from JX. What do I make of the Southend's decision to sack Paul Sturrock, replacing him with Phil Brown but allowing Sturrock to return for the final of the JPT trophy? It's a bit bizarre really. You'd never see anything like that in the FA Cup, you know. Whether, you know, see if Chelsea got rid of Benitez now, you wouldn't see Benitez coming back in a month's time to lead them out the FA Cup final. It's weird to me. If you're going to let him return for the final, why wouldn't you just keep him until the final was played and then sack him? It's a bit bizarre, and the fact they brought in Phil Brown's even bizarrer because I don't rate him much as a manager. Fair play to a Sunderland fan like myself, but he's not a great manager. He's been getting rejected left, right and centre for jobs since he left Hull. So it's all a bit of a bizarre decision, and I'm unsure why Sturrock's even agreeing to come back after he's been sacked. It's very bizarre. From one bizarre managerial decision to another at Blackburn. It's just a joke of a club, absolute joke. I don't know what's going on there. The owners are not fit to own a football side. It's so sad that the FA haven't intervened at all. The Sings are absolute cunts. Absolutely diabolical decision to get rid of Appleton. Fuck knows how he failed. He's been to 3 clubs in one season and been sacked once again, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't think they should have got rid of Keane. I think they were 3rd in the league when they sacked Steve Keane, and while I understand the fans hate him, I think they take being 3rd and under Steve Keane and the current predicament that we're in, definitely. It's a bit of a joke, to be honest. Couple more questions from GX. First of all, what are my thoughts on pre-qualifiers for the likes of San Marino? I think it's a great decision. We've talked about it before, and it's the way to go for the likes of San Marino, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg. These teams that go years without winning, they need to play the likes of each other. Get a bit of confidence on the football pitch, because it's just a shame every game these teams seem to just get humbled, and I don't see the joy in any of them of getting beat over and over again. I think it's a bit of a waste of time for the likes of England playing these teams and winning 6-7-0. If you had the pre-qualifying idea, it'd ease fixture pile-ups as well. There'd be less teams in the World Cup qualifiers, meaning less fixtures, meaning more time to play Premier League and European fixtures, and other domestic fixtures. And then you wouldn't need talks of winter breaks, anything like that, because there'd be less fixtures to play. It's just stupid, and if Platini and Blatter had any sense, they'd definitely do this for the likes of San Marino. Will Arsene Wenger spend big in the summer, and who should his top 3 targets be? I've seen something in, I think it was the Mirror, saying that he's going to spend 70 million on 3 players from Dortmund. And while them 3 should be definitely targets for Arsenal, I can't see that happening. I can't see him spending 70 million at all. I can't see him spending anything more than 20 or 30 million. But he should definitely spend big. Whether he does, I don't think he will. As for 3 targets, I'd say he needs a good goalkeeper. I'm not convinced in Chesney. You've all heard who I think you should go for. It should be Mignolet. If not Mignolet, Begovic, one of the two. You're definitely the type of goalkeeper that Arsenal could attract and should attract. I'd go for centre back. Vermeulen's decline in quality. I'm not sure who to get in centre back wise. Possibly someone from Dortmund, as I've been mentioned. Subotic maybe, if he was willing to come. And then I think definitely someone attacking wise, maybe Johnny Williams, as I mentioned in the Arsenal thread. A few of us having a discussion about that. I think he's definitely one for the future. So I could definitely see Arsenal spending money on him. They've been linked, so I'd love to see him go to Arsenal. I think it'd be the right move. One last question from Jex. What are some of my favourite football chants? As a Sunderland fan, I like Wise Men Say, obviously. It's a good chant. I like a Cardiff chant that's quite offensive about Swansea, which is I'm trying to think of it. You Jack Bastards. I think that's really funny and quite catchy. As a general chants, I like another one of Sunderland's about Jack Colback. To the tune of It's Magic, you know, it goes something like, oh, it's Colback, you know, you'll never believe it's not Scholes. I like that because it's a bit of a piss take, but it's a catchy song as well. I love Mignolet's Kevin Chance, probably my favourite football song. It's the song from Jumanji, and it said that in the jungle, the mighty jungle, he's our keeper, our Belgian keeper. I recommend having a look on that on YouTube for that. I'd sing it, but I'm losing my voice, and I need to keep my voice for the next 20 or 30 minutes to finish this show. We're already 22 minutes in, and we're nowhere near done yet, I don't think. Alright, bit of a fucking weird question next. What's my favourite Michael Owen memory? Getting relegated with Newcastle, possibly. Scoring a hat-trick against Newcastle and a lovely jubilee celebration. Other than anything to do with Newcastle, I liked his goal against Argentina in the 1998 World Cup, obviously. That was one of the first international games I can remember watching. And obviously being a 6 or 7 year old child watching that, I just think that's incredible. I want to do that. I want to be a 16-year-old who scores at the World Cup on the biggest stage of them all. It was such a fantastic finish. Great burst of pace. It was great to see. It's a shame what happened to Owen. Injuries took its toll. I think he had a couple of wrong decisions concerning moves to clubs. I think he should never have went to Newcastle. Once he left Madrid, he should have tried to get moved back to Liverpool or went somewhere like Italy. Obviously the injuries cost him, like I said, but he'll still be remembered as a good player. He's a good 7 for England. He scored plenty of goals. And while he's not my favourite footballer in the whole world, I'd be stupid to say he was a poor one. He's a good player. Should have been a great player. As simple as that. Would a managerial transfer window work, and if so, should it be implemented? I don't think it will work, quite honestly. I don't think chairmen of clubs have got the patience for 2 to 8 months for it to happen. And sometimes you just really need to get rid of a manager. Sometimes, like what's happened with O'Neill, sometimes you need to pull a trigger with 8 games to go and bring in someone else just to save yourself. I wouldn't have a managerial transfer window. It's bad enough having a transfer window for players, in my opinion. So no, I'm not a fan, and I don't believe it should be implemented either. Alright, David Dreamers asked me who's got the best legs in football. Titus Bramble, possibly. I really don't know, David. To be honest, when I watch a football game, and this may just be me, I don't know about the rest of the guys watching this, but my eyes are usually on the player's football boots and what he's doing with the ball, so I don't really pay attention with the legs, like. But Yeah, I'll go for Titus Bramble. He's probably got a good pair of legs. The ladies seem to think so anyway, apparently. So I'll go Titus Bramble. He's got the best legs. He's got the best everything in football. He's got the best third leg probably, but that's for a different show. Alright, Hetero Flexible has asked me my thoughts on England's World Cup qualifying campaign. Will they make playoffs? I think England will scrape it. I think they'll just see atop the group. It's been a bit of a dismal campaign so far, quite a boring one. I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. International football, I'm quite disillusioned with it. Usually I just like watching the World Cups and the European competitions. So I hate qualifiers rather. But I think they'll do. I think they'll top the group, but I wouldn't be against them having to go to the playoffs. At least it's a bit tension and a bit drama. Everything seems to be boring for England, and has been for a while. Sticking with international football, Blaze has asked me, do you think international football has been replaced by the riches of club football in terms of importance? I have to agree, Blaze. I think because of how huge the Premier League is and how big the Champions League is, international football has totally took a back seat. Seems to me like the last World Cup England had a degree of success in was Italia '90, and that was a year or two before the Premier League came to the fore. So I definitely think you've got a point that club football has took over in importance because the Champions League and the Premier League all sort of came in the time where it sort of international football took a back seat after it. I think it doesn't help when club managers are not letting players go to international games and making them pull out of friendlies and stuff. It's very much club over country in today's game, and for me myself, I'd much rather see someone win a corner kick than England score a goal, as drastic as that sounds. I know I'm not alone in that viewpoint. The thing is, a lot of people who support clubs like mine don't really care about watching players from the likes of Man United and Chelsea, players who we think were absolute cunts like John Terry and Ashley Cole, pull on the England shirt. So I think that's a big problem as well. It's not just the financial side. I think that club football's evolved, and rivalries have evolved for club sides, and in such, clubs are not getting beyond the country anymore. Just look at Man United. They were at the Stadium Light on Saturday and they've chanted a lot of things about not liking England, and they're probably supporting the likes of Rio Ferdinand, who got undeserved abuse from a section of England fans. So it's weird. International football is definitely not what it used to be, and since around the time I was born, I don't think it's been quite the power that it was when you look in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Alright, that's it for football related content. We're near the half-hour mark. We haven't got too much to talk about outside of football, as I've already mentioned, but we'll begin with wrestling and a question from Froggy. He's asked me what's my thoughts on the WrestleMania card and the two matches I'm looking forward to most. It's not the most spectacular of cards, is it? But I'm excited for Mania. I'm always excited for Mania. It doesn't matter what card gets put out, I'm always excited for it. I'm excited to be spending it with all the guys from the forum. As far as being happy with it, I'm not upset with it, but I'm not overjoyed with it. Sort of indifferent, but it's Mania and it's a special occasion, and I'm sure it'll be great. Two matches I'm looking forward to most. Obviously there's Taker and Punk, purely because I'm a huge CM Punk fan, and I'm glad he's getting a chance at the streak. And while I don't think he'll end it, hopefully Taker and Punk get enough time to put on a good match. A match that is certainly as good as the last four Taker matches at Mania. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to Jericho versus Fandango. Oh, Fandango, as he's likes to be pronounced. I think the build up for that's been really fun. I liked Jericho's interaction with Fandango, and I must be one of the few guys on the forum who actually likes Fandango. I think his character is really funny, really good. Very arrogant heel, plays his character really well, and hopefully he's good in the ring as well. But regardless, Jericho will get a good match out of him, and he can only benefit from working with someone like Jericho, in my opinion. So that's the second match I'm really looking forward to. Alright, next question is from David Dream, and he hasn't asked me for my favourite legs on a wrestler. He's actually asked me a serious question this time. What are my thoughts on a possible Cena heel turn? I don't think it's going to happen, but I like how it's been teased. It's very smart. I think it was Champ who mentioned in the WWE forum that WWE is smart for teasing it because it's going to get a few potential buys. And I can just imagine that forum on Sunday night, everyone pissed off that he didn't turn heel and he won clean. I'd love to see it happen. He's been getting a lot of negative reactions lately, more negative than usual. His reaction last night from the Washington DC crowd was very, very surprising. I don't think there's one cheer there from him. So I think a turn's needed. A turn's been needed for a while, and if he was to turn at Mania, I think it's the perfect time to turn him against The Rock. I think that's certainly the turn that will get the most impact. So hopefully he does turn, but I'm not confident he will. Alright, PW related now from Froggy. How have I found WrestleMania X9? I think Frog means just 9, as we haven't got through 19 Manias yet, but I'm sure I'll enjoy the 19th Mania. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been, in my opinion, and I know this is said every year, it's been the best one yet. I think the promos that have been put out have been incredible for the most part. The stuff in the Brazzy DC match was great. I really enjoyed the stuff between Aaron and the Mods. Thought Aaron edged it. Ness and DGM was a good little match. WP and Chemist was very fun. Trying to think. Money in the Bank's been a blast to be a part of. It's been a different kettle of fish to everything else, as it's been a little bit less serious, but I tried to spice things up in my last promo, which was fun. And obviously the other match I'm involved in against WWE has been exceptional. It's the best match I've ever been involved in my opinion. Some of the work that's been put out by all 12 guys in there has been incredible. Todd's been on fire. I think Big Red has been the absolute nobody's beaten for promos as far as I'm concerned. Not being biased there. I think he's been brilliant in every match he's been in, and this was no different. He's really brought his A game. I thought Mike's been he's done a hell of a job considering this is his first event. His last promo was very good, Raid. Then on the other side, obviously Matt's had a couple of good things I've enjoyed. Like I said, Todd's been great. So yeah, it's been a hell of a match to be involved with. As far as the promos, I've enjoyed most. Brazzy's last two I've really enjoyed. I've enjoyed most of DC's. I've enjoyed all the Big Reds that were in my thread. And Mike C's last. I've enjoyed Todd's last two. Most of Aaron's. A couple of Ness's. Though Froggy's reply to Aaron in the mod thread was very good as well. So it's been a really cool event. I think everyone needs to calm down a little now, as there's been a lot of blows exchanged. But it's good just to let off a bit of steam once a year, and I can't wait for Tag Team King of the Forum. I've already found my partner for that. Hopefully I beat being runner-up last year and semi-final the year before. It's time to go for the next big step, I think. Alright, wrapping things up with one off-topic question, and it came from Leeds fan. Scrunch or fold? I was a little unsure what you meant here. I thought I knew what you meant, but I had to check what you meant, and I was correct in thinking what you meant. But anyway, I am a folding man. I believe you get more white with a fold. So yeah, I'm an advocate of the fold, not a believer in the scrunch. I think the scrunch is lazy and unprofessional. So yeah, I advocate this fold out all my watches. If you're going to wipe your bum, fold the toilet paper first. And that is PW talk for March, albeit in April. I apologise, it'll never be this late again. Who knows, I might do one of these this week in Brazzy's house, we'll see. That'd be cool, but thank you for watching. I apologise for my croakiness, and anyway, have a good one, have a good Mania, and enjoy watching me win both of my matches in pay-per-view WrestleMania. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.